everybody, it's Linda Bartolucci with Ink Stamp and Scrap. Thanks so much for joining me for our Wednesday workshop. I have a great project to show you. I'll cue it up in just a moment, but I'm going to let a few more people come in. Let's see who's here. All right. Hey, Kathy. Hi, Sue. Glad you could join me today. All right. First, I have some exciting news. Let me see if I can do this. Look at that. Tomorrow, if you are in the US and you want to order with me as your demonstrator, Stampin' Up! Is giving you free shipping on any order over $50. All you need to do is go to my website and click the shop at the top, and you're good to go. If you're on my email list, you received a few more detailed instructions, but and if you need that, just let me know. But otherwise, you can just go and shop. Free shipping tomorrow, which is super exciting. All right, it's always a little, oh, okay. Aha. All right, I'm learning. We're getting there. I swear I'll get this software down. I'm glad you guys are here. Just give me a thumbs up. Go ahead and like the video if you can hear me okay. I just want to double check the audio. My computer, I didn't realize, was not plugged in this morning, so it's back, but it's not. Got 100%. Oh, everybody's getting rain, huh? Well, nope, sunny here. You can see out the window. The sun is shining. Actually, I sent my husband to the pool, so he is out of the house, and we have the house to ourselves. All right, I'm gonna get started, but I just wanted to let you know that I'm super happy to have you all here. If you are Team Replay, please make sure you leave a thumbs up for me on this video. That really helps me and my channel. And hey, Alice, how are you? I'm hoping you guys see me. Yeah, looks like you do. Okay, I had to look at my computer. It just sounds like in the chat. I mean, you guys are chatting among yourselves, which is great. I just want to make sure you can hear me and see me. So let's see here. Where was I? Give me a thumbs up. That really helps. If you're on Team Replay, let me know in the comments. As you're watching this, I'm going to ask a few questions. Feel free to either put it in the chat or answer in the comments if you're on Team Replay. And be sure that you click that subscribe and ring the bell for notifications, because we do go live every Wednesday, but there's also going to be more YouTube content coming out in the coming weeks, and I don't want you to miss anything. All right, let me cue up the project for today and all the fun stuff that's going on. Hold on a sec, just got to change a couple settings here. Let's see, this one, and then that, and then that. Yes, okay, I'm gonna get this over here. Make me smaller. Okay, I think that's it. So there we go. All right, so this is what we're doing today. Let me go back to the comments, make sure everybody's doing okay here. Thumbs up, done. Here waiting to see you. Okay, I'm thinking we're good. All right, so this is a card box, or a box card, sorry. I figured that was the easiest way to say it. So it's a card and a box all in one. You have this cute get well, and then it comes up as an easel card. I think this is the easiest way to show this to you. It comes up as an easel card, but then you can also you can also pull the handle and you have a box. So pretty cool. There we go. All right, so this is what we are going to create today. I've pre-done as much as I could without you losing how to do all the steps. So this should be able to happen in about a half hour like we are usually together. All right. First things first, last week's winners are Alice Targowski and Nancy Hoon. I have both of your addresses. Nancy, you just need to let me know if you're in your, I think you're still in your northern address and not your southern one, but just let me know. I'll reach out to you if I don't hear from you in the next day or so. And Alice, you can expect another package. Actually, Alice, you are part of the In Color Club, and your ribbon is supposed to be here in the next couple of days. So I think I'll wait until I get your ribbon, and then I will send you everything. All right. that takes care of a couple of pieces of admin. All right, so I'm going to go through, these are the directions that are going to post on the website, inkstampinScrap.com tomorrow morning. I want to kind of go through how I laid them out for you. So even if you're on Team Replay or you read my blog post and now you are looking at the instructions, this is a good spot. I'm going to timestamp this in the description so that I can walk through these dimensions with the finished product just so you understand what I'm trying to let you know. All right, so the dimensions for the box, that's just this part right here without this top piece. So sorry, I shouldn't even say it that way. The directions for the box is just this piece right here. So it's just this, all right? So this starts out as, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit there. Oh, maybe it won't let me. There we go. I'm gonna zoom in just for a second. Okay, so the dimensions for the box, the color cardstock, in this case, the Coastal Cabana, is 7 by 7, and you're gonna score it at 1 inch on all the sides. Then you'll see all these sides have decoration to them. They have white, basic white cardstock and then designer series paper over it. So your basic white is 7/8 by 4 7/8, and your designer series is spelled wrong. I'll try to fix that. Is 3/4 by 4 3/4. And you need 4 each of these. And there's 3 asterisks here. I'll explain that in a moment. And then the dimensions for the sleeve, which is this bottom part. Let me, there we go. Oh, and you can see everything behind me. Ooh. Oh, sorry if you're getting dizzy. Okay, there we go. So that is this part where the box goes in. It's this whole piece, but it doesn't include this. This is the third piece, if you will, of the box card. So for the sleeve that the drawer goes into, the color cardstock, in this example's case, Coastal Cabana, is 5/8 by 6 1/2, and you have 2 of them, and you score each of them at 5 1/8 and 6 1/8. Now this is one thing I didn't want to spell out in the directions because there's a lot of words to it, but you could do this with a 12 by 12 sheet of paper and just do it at 5/8 by 11 1/2, and you could skip putting 2 pieces of paper together. Totally up to you. I did it so everything can be done using 8 1/2 by 11 paper. All right, next, the basic white is 7/8 by 5. You need 2 of those. That's for either side, or that's the drawer again, either side of the sleeve. And then, I spelled series wrong everywhere. I think I copied and pasted, that's why. And then the designer series paper is 3/4 by 4 7/8, and there's 2 asterisks there. Last, it's the dimensions for the easel card. The dimensions are everything except for the decor on the top, like the flower, in this case, the flowers and the get well soon. So the colored cardstock, which is this part right here that goes from here to here, that is 5 1/8 by 10 1/4, and you score it at 5 1/8, and then you fold it. We'll go through that. And then the top piece is just 5 1/8 by 5 1/8 square. You have your basic white, which is 5 inches. Your designer series paper is 4 7/8, and I stopped there so you can decorate this any way that you want. The last thing I went through is how to cut with the designer series paper. Oh, and I don't seem to have, but I know how to do it. So I'm going to show you that right now. Sorry, I needed to grab my trimmer. All right, so and this is where those 3 asterisks come in. So the part of the directions that says cutting designer series paper, what it goes through is what these asterisk things mean. So there's 1 asterisk, then 2, and then 3. So that is the order in which you cut these. So the first thing you're going to do, this is not the pattern that we're going to use. I'm just going to use this to show you. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut a section of your designer series paper that is 4 7/8 by 12. And this you don't need. And, and this you do. Then you're going to cut 4 7/8 again the other direction. That's going to give you the square that goes on the card part of the box right here. So that's the square. That's the first piece. It's got 1 asterisk by it. The part that has 2 asterisks is 4 7/8 by 3/4. You're going to make 2 of those. Those are the pieces that you need, by 3/4. Those are the pieces that you need for the sides of the sleeve. So you're going to make 2 of those. Then the last 4 pieces that you need are 4 3/4 wide. This is the third step of cutting. So you're just losing this little 1/8 right here. And then again, you need 3/4 and you need 4 of them. So 1, 2. I just want to show you what the scrap is when I'm done. I probably could have done the multiplication in my head and then you'd be able to see this, but this lets you know what's going on. All right, so this, after you cut that 4 7/8 piece of designer series paper, this is all the scrap you have if you cut the way that that I'm saying. All right, so good. I'm glad you guys like that. It's the 8.5. I'm catching up with you. All right. Yeah, I thought it would just be easier. I think a lot of people have way more colored 8.5 by 11 than the colored 12 by 12. So anyway, and I should give credit where credit is due. I got this pattern from Jan B. All right, although she did it 12 by 12, so I did adapt it so we could do it 8.5 by 11. We do not need the trimmer anymore. I'm gonna set that aside. Hopefully it won't crash. Yeah, then it won't crash. Okay, we do need to score. So I'm going to put this back together. I'm going to slide my box in. This is another trick too, how easy the box slides, but I'll show you that when we get to it. All right, and now I'm going to set this one aside, and underneath here I have all the things I need to make this one a blush blossom. So I did a little sleuthing on the Stampin' Up site, and 2 of the colors that polished pink is to be paired with are Coastal Cabana and Blush Blossom. So I figured if you were trying to pep somebody up, this would be a great get well. And I figured if somebody just needed a soothing kind of box, this would be a better color combo to send them. So that's what we're going to work with. All right, so the first, I'm trying to think, I actually want this to set up. So I'm gonna do my little trick for you guys, the way I like to put these 2 together. My favorite way to do it is to run this with multi-purpose adhesive on the back. That's the easiest way to do this. The second easiest way to do this is with liquid glue, a dauber, and a silicone mat. And that's what we're going to do right now. I have shown this in past lives. I've gotten questions about it. And there's a piece that didn't come out right there. Let me just, it's always a shame when like one little piece of a flower doesn't come out of the die. Okay, there we go. Now we're good. Okay. So when you are doing my little dauber, it's just a glue dauber. And then I have my dad's napkin ring. This is my dad's from when he was a kid. And my liquid glue ready to go. I'm going to make sure this is the good side. This is the up side of the die cut. I'm going to flip it over to the down side. And I'm going to put it on my silicone mat. And then I'm going to move it over a little. It's a little gooey over on that side. Okay. And then I'm going to give myself a decent little pile there. I might need more. We can always come back. I'm going to put my dauber on my finger. I'm going to ink it up. I'm going to glue it up. And then I'm just going to start going around. And I'm just going to pounce around. I really hope this isn't shaking the camera too much. Sorry if it is. But I'm just pouncing around And when I don't see a lot of white or any white anymore, I go back and get a little bit more. And the reason that I'm doing this on the silicone mat is because it's not going to stick. It's easy to wash off. I actually, after we get done filming, the way I will clean this is I will just take a little bit of rubbing alcohol on a paper towel and just wipe it all away, and then just dry it off with another paper towel. Okay, definitely got some there. All right, I think that's plenty to hold this down. It's not exactly a super heavy piece. And then you lift it off. You've got stick all over it. So now I can bring in the background and I can lay this down. And there we go. Oh, I'm a little off on the bottom. All right, I'm gonna bring this up. There we go. That one leaf just kind of lags. I just think this black and polished pink looks so pretty. All right, don't know about your opinion, but you can let me know in the comments. All right, so this is just one of my little tips and tricks. And one thing I was wondering, if I'm going to do more not live comment, tell me if you are more interested in quick tips or organizational tips, ways that I find it easier to keep things organized in my craft room. I'm sure both, I hope both are of interest to you, but let me know in the comments, organizational tips or quick shortcut kind of tips for stamping. All right, so this is going to be the front of our easel card. I'm going to set that aside and let it finish setting up. Now what we need to get to is all the scoring. So the first thing I'm going to do is score the box. If you remember the directions, it said to score at 1 inch. I'm not doing that because I'm right-handed, which means I hold it with my left, and to tuck all the way into the right when I could just score it all at 6 seems much easier. So it's still 1 inch off. I'm just taking the inch from the 7 to the 6. Long as I do that on all 4, everything will be fine. Quick tip, Sue says. All right. Don't forget, if you're team replay, leave a comment. Let me know if you're more interested in organizational tips or quick tips. There we go. Now we have all 4 done. I'm going to go ahead and move on and finish with all my scoring instead of assembling one piece at a time. You can, when you do this, you do you, and make sure that it stays in your head well and it makes sense to you. All right, the next thing, this is the sleeve. These are the 2 pieces of the sleeve. I need to score them at 5 1/8 and 6 1/8. 5 1/8 and 6 1/8. And I need to do that for both of them. Okay. Then, because I kind of modified the dimensions for this, first of all, to fit the 8.5 by 11, and I also, if you look up Jan's example, her box is smaller. I really wanted this to be a get well. You'll see at the end that I can actually fit a pack of Kleenexes and some tea inside of this. So because of that, this ends up being a 10 1/4 wide piece of paper or cardstock, 5 1/8 this way, 10 1/4 this way. Because when you're making an easel card, the base of the easel, let me grab this. The base of the easel, the piece under here that makes your easel pop up, it's super easy to remember. It's just twice the height of your card, and then you score it at the height of the card and in half. But that means I'm into 1/16 inches on here, and this doesn't do 1/16. I could grab my trimmer, it does, but I have an easier way to do that. So I'm going to score it. No, that would have ruined this. I'm going to score this at 5 1/8. There we go. At 5 1/8. There we go. Okay, so this is my half. You can see it's in half. Now I need to go half again, which, like I said, is going to be a 1/16. So I'm not going to use that. I just have to grab something here. I'm going to use my piercing mat, or I guess it's called my stamping mat, and my bone folder. And around the half point between the score line and the edge, I'm going to use the round part of this, and I'm just going to gently rub like 3 or 4 times on each side of the cardstock. You'll never see that. It won't do any damage to anything, but what it does is it breaks the fibers down just enough and squishes them together that you don't get a crack. And that's what we don't want, is a crack, because you're going to see this fold. So now I'm going, wait, this folded this way, so this folds back, I think, but we'll just do it that way. I can always, but now it's going to fold really easily. So now what I can do is bring this right up to the center. I can use my bone folder, and I'm not going to get the cracked, the paper is going to stay, it's just a nice finish, no cracking. Okay, so that's another tip, another stamping tip. If you want to make, and that's a great way to make a gatefold card too. Just go down a little bit around the center point and then fold it. When I make a gatefold card, I do the same thing. I score for the first gate, but for the second one, I bring it up to match. That way it's always perfect. Because even though we measure really well, we're very smart people, but if you're off by just a little bit and your doors don't come together on a gatefold, it just doesn't look so right. All right, so this is the base of my easel. I'm going to set that aside because it's completely done. Now let's actually move this out of the way because we're done scoring and get to it. I know I'm going to need that, but we're going to do this first. All right, so our easel is setting here, and now what we're going to do is put our sleeve together. So the sleeve goes together just like this. All right, thanks, Sue. All right. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tear and tape. I'm going to use a lot of different kinds of adhesives. The only today it's just easier for me to grab different things. But what I will say is when you do this, for any assembly that has to do with putting the easel, not the card, the easel, the sleeve, or the box together, just make sure you're using super good permanent adhesive. And by that, I mean tear and tape like I'm using right now, Stampin' Seal Plus, which I will use in a few on the box, and liquid glue. Those are the 3 best permanent kind of adhesives for any 3D item. They all have pros and cons. There's not one that's I don't think there's one that's a better hold than the other. I just think that the way that you use them lends itself better sometimes to different things. Like if this was really complicated and it's going to be really hard to line up, liquid glue would be the way to go because it gives you that little wiggle room and that little bit of time while it's drying for you to shift things around. The tear and tape is not going to be forgiving at all, so I need to make sure I'm lining this up just right. And there we go. All right, this is now the outside of my sleeve. Make sense? So the sleeve is going together like this, and then it's going to come together like that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this over, and I am going to use my bone folder to just secure this line. Oh, and my new backgrounds came in today, so I am going to switch things up starting next week. I'm excited about that, if you couldn't tell. All right. And then I am going to fold this in on the outside score here. And it should lay I want to make sure it's flat. And then I'm just going to let it lay down right there. Wherever it lands is where it lands. Because that's where the cardstock wanted to go. This is fine. I'm happy with this. There's a tiny little gap right there, but that just became the bottom. How easy is that? All right, so this is the top. And this is the bottom. So I'm going to leave it just like that. I have my sleeve. Now I'm going to assemble my box. And then the last thing I'm going to do, as far as the box and the sleeve go, is to put all the sides on. All right, so the box we've already scored at 6 or 1 all the way around. Just be consistent. And now we're going to go ahead and put our box together. So the first thing we're going to do is cut a miter. These are old Stampin' Up scissors. That's why I don't know if you can see the logo, but it's there. I use them whenever I'm cutting sticky things, and not that this box is sticky, but I had them, so I'm just going to use them. And I'm just mitering corners, so it's okay. I always use my snips if the cuts are going to show and they need to be super straight. All right, so the only thing you want to do is whichever two you pick on one side, those are the two. That's the direction you go on the other side, so that your miters are opposite of one another. And the mitering is always happening on the tab, not the side of the box. So the longer pieces, these are the sides, and this is what I'm calling the tab. All right, so the first folding I'm going to do are the sides that don't have the tabs. So I'm going to fold those in and go ahead and run my bone folder along it just to get a good crease. And I'm going to do that here too. I don't care so much about the tab. And then I am going to fold the tabs and their corresponding side up. And then I'm going to use my bone folder on all three of those. Seem to have a little miter that wants to keep playing here. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite end. I'm going to fold up my tabs. Well, clearly this table is not level. And I'm going to go ahead and use my bone folder to burnish the score lines. All right, there we go. All right, so now it's time to assemble this. It's going to go together like this. So since everything is folding in this way, of course, we're going to flip it over and we're going to put all of our adhesive on this side. I'm going to just use Stampin' Seal Plus. The reason that I'm doing that is totally just based on time. This goes faster when we're doing a live. So, and I have 4 to do, so I'm just going to do it this way. And it doesn't matter whether I'm pulling it down or moving it side to side, it's just laying it down. I just want to make sure it's not hanging over the tabs in any way. And the nice thing about this plus is that you actually can kind of move it around just a little bit. Not a lot, but a little. You can't pick it up and peel it off, but you can kind of smudge or fudge it a little bit. All right, and then I just want the corner of my box to meet the corner of the mitered edge, and I don't want the tab to be sticking up over the top. So that's what I'm looking for as I'm putting these together. And again, if I miss just a little bit, it's okay because it's a handmade gift and it's wonderful that you took the time to do that. All right, so now I have my box and my sleeve. One thing you'll notice is that it's a little bit on the flimsy side. So you do, even though these strips that we made are all decorative, they are actually functional for this project because they really do support the sides of the box and the sides of the sleeve. Now, of course, I stacked these all together, so I'm not sure which ones are, these two are my bigger ones. And actually, this one, for some reason, isn't stuck right there. This is where liquid glue comes in. Just put a little bit. There we go. Okay, I'm going to set that one there and we'll do the box first. All right, so I am going to do the box, and this time I'm just going to use regular, I think so. Oh, there it is. Bingo. I'm going to use my regular, oh, and I have S's on these for short, just so I know which is short and which is long. But it doesn't help because I forgot that I did that for myself. All right, I can see red on the Stampin' Seal, so I know that I'm getting towards the end, which means that I'm probably gonna have to switch the filler at some point. All right, there we go. So this is all you're gonna do, and they're gonna go around, all 4 of them are gonna go, wait, that one's long, don't do that. All 4 of the short ones are going to go around the box, and then the 2 long ones are gonna go on the sides, the closed sides of the sleeve. Got a little sticky on my fingers. So it makes it great for being able to grab paper, but and it ended. Okay, but it made it all the way across. All right, so I just, whoops, come on. All right, so we will switch that out real quick, and then I can get on to finishing the box. Let's see what's going on. Hey, Nancy, glad you're here. What else? All right, just gonna switch this out. So if you haven't used Stampin' Seal enough to the point where you have to refill, the refills come in these handy Ziploc bags. I actually save these because they're great for storage. They're about snack size, but they seal at this end, if that makes sense. These don't have anything that you need to remove from them. When you take it out of the bag, it's ready to go right on here. You've got 2 prongs here. So I just line up those 2 prongs, and then you just put the cap or the other side back on, and you're good to go. So that's all you need to do. And then we can, oh, and then you need to start it. I can finish my 4th side. And there we go. All right, and now we can put the long sides on the sleeve, and it will be, and it's starting to come together. We should do our one little piece of stamping pretty soon, so I get that done as well. All right, so let's do these. Put that there. These are the long ones. They're not that much longer. They're only an 1/8 inch longer, but it does make a difference. Okay, so there's that. And last but not least, we have this one. Okay. We're getting there, we're getting there. How am I? Oh, okay. It's not going to be a half hour, although I didn't start right. I started on time, but we had some things to chat about. And please don't forget that you can get that free shipping tomorrow, because I think that's a really awesome option, and I'm super happy that Stampin' Up! Is giving you that chance. All right, now let's talk about putting the rest of the box and sleeve together. So what you need is you need some way to open the box, something to pull on. So what I did is I just punched out 2 circles just to make it a little thicker out of cardstock, and then I'm going to add an opal round, and that's going to go on the front of my box. So I'm just going to take one of the bigger ones, put it in the middle here. You could certainly stamp on this. You could add some more, you could add some more designer series paper to it if you wanted to. Then I'm just going to use a few mini Stampin' Dimensionals. And though the reason that I'm doing that is so that it has a little bit of separation. So again, it's just giving you every chance to grab this little handle pretty easily to open and close your box. So let's do that. And all right, so there we go. And this is how it goes together. So these are the sides of my sleeve. I've got the open part here, and then this just slides in like this and comes back open like that. However, here's another tip. Congratulations for watching the video. That's the only way you're going to get this. Take a little bit of wax paper and ball it up. Rub it along all of the sides. Literally this much. You don't need to do it a lot. A little bit of the wax is going to transfer. And now, I realize you can't feel this, but I promise you, that is so much easier than it was just a second ago. So that is the magic of adding a little bit of wax paper. And really, when you're making anything that, oh yeah, you could add a ribbon for a pull too, Sue, you're right. Actually, I did that on the sample. I just felt like it took a little bit longer than the circles and the opal, and I knew we were gonna run long today. But that wax paper, you could do that with any kind of movement sort of card where you have two pieces of cardstock grinding against one another. All right, let's get the easel part done. So I always have to play with this for a second because I want, nope, I want it this way. I want it that way. Okay. I always have to play with it for a second to remember which way I want this to go. And then, because the last thing you want to do is glue it down and have a problem. So this is going to get glued down on top of here, but that's not the next step that I'm going to do. I'm going to finish off the card front and put that on first. So that is going to require me to put the designer series paper, again, not level, on the white, basic white cardstock, and then we'll put the basic white on the blushing blossom. There we go. We're getting there. Wax paper, super idea. Thanks. Appreciate it. All right. Here we go. All right. So that gives me the nice base for my card. Now I am going to, I told you I was going to use a lot of different glue today. I'm going to use some glue dots to put this on. I could go back and do my little dauber and glue thing again, but it was very necessary when I was doing the whole black outline on top of the pink flowers. It is not very necessary that there is adhesive in every single spot on this. It's necessary that it's towards the edges so that things stick down, and a few strategic flower centers, which I'm able to get without much trouble. So that's what I'm doing here. All right. Yeah, that's going to be enough to hold this puppy down. So now we're going to go just like that. All right. So there we go. I'm popped up a little bit here. I might slide something underneath there afterwards, but for now I'm just going to go ahead and keep going. So we need to glue this to this part. So I'm going to do, actually I'm going to do the heavier duty one. I'm going to do the plus here. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay. I have a heavy hand, and when I push too hard, that doesn't work so well. So we're going to go back to this one, and I will fix that in a few. Okay. So now I have this on the easel. I don't put any adhesive on that back part. And then I'm going to lay this down. They are the same sizes. So I'm just going to match up all the corners. There we go. And then I'm going to put this on the back of this. And I am going to, whoops, wait, I want to make sure it's right. Okay, so my drawer is here. So I want to make sure it easels this way. So that's how I'm going to lay this. Actually, I'm going to do this. I'm going to take my drawer out and push this down this way. Just a little easier for me to line this up. All right, so it's going to go right there. Okay, now everything is coming together. The last thing I need to do is add this. This is my little stopper. It's 2 dies from the Tasteful Dies bundle of dies, and they're just, oh, there they are. They're just glued together with liquid glue. Told you, lots of adhesive for this one, lots of different adhesives. Now I want to pop this up with dimensionals. And this is one of those times when the dimensionals are functional here. So you can't skip this and just cheat and leave it flat, because it has a good chance of not holding when you try and easel the card. when you try and pop it up. Oh, and we didn't do our greeting. I will do that though. I promise it's coming. So we'll get this and then I'll do the greeting. Okay. So this is going to go, I want this to pop up. So it's in the center and just maybe 1/8 of an inch back. And this way it keeps it up. So now we can slide our drawer back in. And last but not least, we'll do our greeting. Probably should have done the greeting a minute or two ago, but that's okay. There we go. All right, so we're together now. I have my greeting here. I have my Stampin' mat. This Get Well Soon is from the Blossoms in Bloom bundle that we're using today. I don't even think I showed you that at the beginning, so I will do that. Here we go. Don't forget that there is a drawing that will happen. There's one drawing for the comments from Team Replay, and there's also a drawing from the chat. I will do both of them and announce the winners at the beginning of next week's video. All right, there we go. Get Well Soon. This one I'm going to pop up with the mini dimensionals. You kind of need a lot. Can I sneak one in there? I think so. I don't want it to fall down. All right, I'm going to use this to get these off. Here's another trick for you. You can just kind of pop and pull, and these generally come off. Of course, they don't want to because I'm showing it off on a YouTube video, but usually they do. All right, so now making sure I can see the drawer. So this is the direction that I want it to go. I'm just going to put my Get Well Soon right there. There we go. All right. And now I will show you what I meant about it being a Get Well kind of box. Facebook is not letting me share this today. Kathy, what you can do to share this video, and this is for everybody watching, is if you look just below the video, YouTube puts a share with an arrow, and then you just click on it and you can share. It'll tell you, you can click whichever one you want to share. If that's the way you're doing this and it's not letting you share it, it might be that you're not logged into Facebook. That would be my guess. All right, and I'm going to open the drawer. There we go. And you can see that this one lets you slide in some tea. And yes, my husband likes toasted coconut tea, so that's what I grabbed. But you can slide in a pack of tissues and some tea, and then this is a nice little gift to give someone as a Get Well Soon. They can put that on their nightstand next to them and know that you're thinking of them. As far as doing some kind of greeting, you could definitely do something on the back side of this. You could put something right here. What you'll probably end up doing is it'll be a post-it that you attach, or something that you attach after you get this whole part done. But that's where you could actually leave a little note. The other thing that you could put inside, there it is, inside of this box, if you use these dimensions, is a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 note card. And I made one right here, still with the Blushing Blossom, still with the Blooms in Blossom bundle. And then I just did Blush Blossom and white on top. But I just wanted to show you that if I open my drawer and I take these out, I can definitely fit this in with no trouble. And then you can slide some envelopes in there as well. So either one would work really good. Facebook's not responding. Okay, thanks a lot. Appreciate that you're going to try later. All right, so this is the one that we made. And this is the original sample right here. I think that's the best way to show these off. And I'm going to fold them down now. And this concludes teaching you how to make a box card. All right, do I have any more questions? Oh, thanks, Nancy. Oh, I should show you the flower. This is the bundle that I'm speaking of. This actually came out last year, but I find all sorts of uses for it and have a really good time with it. You can use the stamps to make another layer behind. If I had chosen to make this basic white instead of the designer series paper, You can also just layer either what I have done in the pink, polished pink, sorry, I just want to call it Pink Passion. It reminds me of that color. The polished pink or the black, they will lay over this and add dimension to it. So you can do all three, or you can do any combinations of two to make this work. And then there are dies that go over these flowers as well. All right, I will look into that. Maybe there's some sharing option that I turned off by accident. But thanks, I really appreciate all you guys trying to share this with your friends. As I said, there'll be a blog post up tomorrow. It'll have a download of all the instructions. If you are watching this on Team Replay, make sure that you watch all back to the beginning when I walked through the cutting directions. That's some of the most complicated parts of putting this together. Once you get that right, it's pretty much just glue and stick it all together. All right, so thank you very, very much. Appreciate you guys watching. Please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it oh, and there's my thumb. I really appreciate it when you do that. Let's just bring me in here. Turn that off, and there we go. All right. So please give me a thumbs up. Nope. There we go. This one works better. I'm not left-handed though, so that's not my natural way to go. All right. So please give me a thumbs up. The algorithm really appreciates it, and so do I. And then, so please subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and ring the notification bell so that the next time that I make a video, you get an announcement letting you know that it's coming on. All right, have a great week. I will see you here next Wednesday. Keep an eye on the channel. You might see some stuff before that. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.